Welcome back to Outdoors Radio. My name is Jeff Kell. We are brought to you by Hupy and Abraham, a powerful law firm with a proven record of large settlements on the web at Hupy.com. And joining us on the Red Paw Performance Dog Food Call of the Wild line is Frank Meyer. He's an EMT and co-founder of Adventure Medical Kits. And we're talking to you today. I want to thank you for joining us, but we're talking to you today because hunting season is here. And everybody, everybody tries to be as safe as they can, but, accidents happen. Things happen. And everybody should have a first aid kit. It's something you kind of learn when you're a kid, but not everybody does. And you're here to talk to us about the kits that you guys provide and a little bit about what guys should look for and try to prevent some of the accidents, correct?
Yeah, Jeff, thanks for having me on today. And nobody expects something to happen, but the U.S. Forest Service did a study of injuries that hunters sustain. And you know what the number one cause of an injury is for hunters? It's falling from a tree stand. Mm-hmm. And I know you got a few tree stands back in the Midwest.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And so, you never expect to fall out of a tree stand. I mean, you don't expect to fall like putting up your Christmas lights off the ladder either. But, stuff does happen. And
mm-hmm.
And it's always good to be prepared. And when you're prepared, you can respond to a situation in a much calmer manner, knowing you have not only the tools, but if you study a little bit beforehand, the information that comes in our medical kits, what to do should that happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, did you kind of invent this because you were a Boy Scout? Were you a Boy Scout?
Yeah, I'm an Eagle Scout.
All right,
and
I am.
Right now is.
I am too. I'm an Eagle Scout.
Oh yeah, all
yes.
Right. It's a club.
Yeah, it's a rare club. I'm proud to be a part of it. But what you're talking about is stuff that I think you and I have both learned coming up in Boy Scouts is how to treat accidents and things like that. But not everybody understands that kind of stuff, nor knows.
They start off every merit badge course, as you know, with what are the first aid situations you have to deal with. I mean,
mm-hmm.
That's the first thing. It's how are you going to get injured doing this activity that we're teaching you about?
Right.
And I don't care if it's engineering or rockets. Building
mm-hmm.
Rockets, they say here's what can happen, and then they teach you how to deal with it. So it's pretty ingrained for us as Boy Scouts. And I think for hunters, I think they're most concerned about bullet wounds, knife wounds from gutting their animal. Cleaning out in the field, and so, bleeding and serious bleeding is probably, one of the trauma situations that they're most concerned about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what they've taught us back when we were Boy Scouts is pressure points, like in your groin, on your arm, underneath your arm. They said put pressure on those artery points in your body to slow down the bleeding. Well, they found out after doing research that didn't really work. So. They went to direct compression. So putting, whatever you have with you directly over the bleeding wound and holding it down for, 15 minutes or so,
mm-hmm.
just to stop the bleeding is what, has been the standard for a number of years. But now since the Iraq War, Afghanistan War, there's been companies that have come out with products that are, they're called hemostatic agents. And what they do is they stop the blood flow quickly. And we have one in our kits called QuikClot.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of that?
I haven't, other than before I ended up, knowing I was going to talk to you, I read about it.
So QuikClot is a product think of it, it's kind of like a mesh pouch with zeolite beads in it. Zeolite is a naturally occurring mineral. It's abundant on the West Coast in Oregon, and zeolite has the ability to pull moisture out of the air. For a long time, they've been using it inside of double pane windows, just a little bit. You can't see it, just to suck the moisture out so it doesn't fog up the inside of those windows. Well, they put these zeolite beads inside of the mesh pouch. You shove the mesh pouch into the bleeding wound, and what it does is it rapidly sucks up the water out of the blood, leaving the blood platelets behind to clot the wound.
Mm-hmm.
So you still have to apply pressure. You just pull it out of the package, and within 5 minutes, the bleeding will stop.
That's awesome. That's awesome because that is a common accident, and and of course the fall from a tree stand is another one. What about heart attacks?
Heart attacks. Oh, I mean, in our older age population of hunters that go out there, what can you do for a heart attack? I mean, you can recognize the symptoms, the signs of it. And about the only thing you can really do in your first aid kit is make sure you have some aspirin in there. We include aspirin in our first aid kits. That helps thin the blood, helps get blood flowing past the clot area. I mean, it's the first thing we should do in a heart attack. And the second one is to get to the hospital. Mm-hmm. And if it goes into cardiac arrest, then you should know, to do they're recommending now to do the chest compressions only while you're waiting for medical care to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the aspirin in the kit is exactly what I was thinking about. It's something as simple as that, and a lot of guys don't carry any kind of a kit with them, and that, and maybe I'm as guilty of it too. I do carry a bit of a first aid kit with me when I go to where I'm hunting, but I don't necessarily carry it into the stand with me, and that's probably where I go wrong. I mean, the first aid kit's not going to do me a whole lot of good back at the farmhouse if I can't get to the farmhouse,
Actually, that's why we designed our Sportsman series of medical kits for hunters to have a detachable field trauma bag. So it's a smaller pouch. You pull out of the bigger pouch. You leave the bigger one back in the car or the base camp, and then you take that other one in your pack with you when you go out to the tree stand. So it's a smaller, trauma-specific pouch that people don't mind carrying.
Mm-hmm. Now, where can people find the Adventure Medical Kits?
Well, in Gander Mountain carries them.
Okay, yeah, we got a lot of them around here.
As well.
Okay.
QuikClot you can find at Walmart.
Oh, okay.
As well as Gander and Cabela's.
All right.
So the thing about what I wanted to mention was, you can go buy a first aid kit at a drugstore, and but it might not be specific to hunting. It probably won't be specific to hunting. The only way you can get a kit like one of our Sportsman series of Adventure Medical Kits is designed for hunters by a doctor with instructions inside that tell you how to deal with arrow injuries, how you deal with bullet wounds, mm-hmm. And heart attack and things like that when the doctor isn't going to come. Those kind of specific instructions for those medical kits are in our Sportsman series kit. So look for sport-specific kits. Whatever sport you do, look for a kit that's designed for that sport.
It's a very important part of the process of getting ready to go out on a hunt is making sure that you're prepared for anything. And Frank, you and I know being prepared, that is the motto we got to live by.
Yeah, that's the first. That's every day. Every scout meeting, my son goes, and I'm assistant scoutmaster. We repeat that scout oath.
Yep, that's the way to do it. Well, Adventure Medical Kits, we're going to give some away later on in the show, so folks can get a hold of them. We'll tell you how to get them later on. Frank Meyer, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right. Thank you. Frank is the co-founder of Adventure Medical Kits. This has been brought to you by Hupy & Abraham, a powerful law firm with a proven record of large settlements on the web at Hupy.com. More Outdoors Radio coming up next.